Race fans, welcome. My name's John Hogan and you're joining me for the 2021 team launch for Honda Racing UK. Coming up in this show, we'll be speaking to Superbike riders Glenn Irwin, Ryo Mizuno and Takumi Takahashi, and in the Superstock class, we'll be chatting to Tom Neave. We'll also get the lowdown from race team manager Harv Beltram. We'll also be pulling the covers off the race bikes, giving you your first glimpse of the 2021 livery. Let's get on with the show. ...2020 got off to a great start for the team and the then all-new Fireblade. 2 wins and 3 podium finishes at the opening round gave an early indication of the potential in the bike. By the end of round 2, another win and a further podium finish meant Glen and the team were leading the championship. Over the remainder of the season, the bike continued to develop. Ultimately, the riders finished 4th and 6th in the championship, bagging 4 wins and 5 podiums along the way. In the Superstock class, Tom Neave finished on the podium in all but 2 rounds and also bagged more wins than anyone else throughout the entire season. He also set the lap record at Donington Park. All that success in year 1 on that new bike made finishing 2nd in the championship just a real bitter pill to swallow. So not quite the dream finish for the team that everybody had hoped for. This isn't the movies, it's real life, it's real racing. But in terms of the building blocks for success for 2021, the bikes, the team and the riders, they're in a great place. And what of those 2021 bikes? You want to see the new livery? Of course you do. Let's take a look. So here it is. I think it looks a beauty. I can't wait to see these bikes proving themselves out on track later this year. In the meantime, let us know what you think of it in the comments section below. One man who has proved himself time and time again for Honda UK is team manager Harv Beltram. As the title suggests, Harv's in charge of everything when it comes to short circuit racing for Honda UK. Let's bring him in and get his thoughts on the year ahead. How's it going, Harv?
How you doing, John? You all right?
Yeah, good. First things first, what do you think of the paint?
Looks good, doesn't it? Looks very nice.
Yeah. Is there a reason why it looks like it is? Is there a focus on...
For sure, John. As you know, the team's own control by Honda. We're helping them, obviously, to promote and sales with the new Fireblade, and not only the Fireblade, but other Honda motorcycles. And the livery stems from the accessory kit that we do have available for the Fireblade, to carbon fibre mudguard, hugger and belly pan. So what we've tried to do is to simplify it so that the dealers can make replicas and everything else. And yeah, stunning bike, looks really nice. Love it in the colours.
Yeah. And the bike underneath those new clothes, Harv. Obviously, I don't expect you to share any secrets about the bike, but what can you share in terms of pre-season development for year 2 on the Fireblade?
I think for year 2, you know, we learnt a lot in 2020 and tried to understand the machine where we wanted to improve. Hands were tied due to many reasons, like so many other teams. We put in place a bit of a development to do with the chassis, so we imminent for receiving parts to be able to go and test with that.
That was nearly a secret then, wasn't it?
You know, swing arm, for example. Yep. You know, we've worked on Mod 1, Mod 2, Mod 3 from the standard. Okay. We're moving and going to try a Suter swing arm. And we've also got a lot of engine development work going ahead as well. And again, that's just enabled us to utilise the power and the RPM that we have within BSB to use and move forward. So, like I said, there's 2 or 3 strong areas that we've yet to test and, you know, get data and everything back. And as you know, we've been plagued by terrible weather at the moment with BSB tests and everything, which is unfortunate, same for everybody, but I need mileage on components and everything to be able to have a true evaluation.
So in terms of your riders, can you talk me through the Honda Superbike Challenge program that Glen and Ryo are working under?
Yeah, so John, the Honda Superbike Challenge program came about a conversation with Mr. Yamano in Honda in Japan Motorsports. And it's about developing young riders that are contracted to Honda. Now that could be anywhere in the world. And the project, sort of no better way of getting it off the ground, was introducing Ryo into BSB with a view of working in conjunction with Glen in Superbike and developing Ryo with a view that his footsteps or his transition moving forward is into World Championship. But before he can do that, he's got to get his ground roots and established in BSB. And you know, as you've got to know him over the last couple of days, he's a lovely young lad. He's got great opportunity, and you know, he comes from
Great stock.
Great stock, if you like, an upbringing, if you like, from Japan and working with HRC and Honda.
And obviously, Takumi Takahashi comes on a HRC contract. How different does that make his role? And you know, people probably assume you've got some amazing bat phone to HRC where you can get cool parts. And is it anything like that?
Well, first of all, so Takumi with the HRC project, I mean, that came about very late in the day. And, you know, to really understand that the situation there for Takumi to sort of re-establish himself and move forward. Remember, you know, he is a HRC rider. He's won at Suzuka, you know, and
I don't know if maybe people at home realise how big a Suzuka win is for Honda. It's massive, isn't it?
It's huge, and you know, from when MotoGP's at Suzuka and Suzuka event itself, the two stand in such prestigious, you know, content, if you like, not only with all the Japanese manufacturers, but with so many Japanese companies. And the fact that Takumi has been successful in a wildcard in MotoGP at Suzuka and won at Suzuka, and he's a very, very talented rider with the HRC program. And unfortunately, the last year or so we've lost Suzuka, so there's been a lot of downtime, a lot of lost track time, if you like. So trying to make the best of it.
Well, Harv, it's a real pleasure to have been given the chance to kind of shadow the team over the 2021 season. Hope I don't get in your way. I don't mind if you shout and swear at me a bit if I do, if in return I can get a go on a superbike.
Let's see what we've got left.
25-year-old local lad Tom Neave gelled with the new Fireblade in the Superstock class, only narrowly missing out on a championship win in his first year on the new bike. Let's bring Tom in, have a chat about the year ahead. How are you, mate?
I'm good, thanks. Are you?
Not too bad. Tom, keyhole surgery on your knee has meant you've missed 2 pre-season tests. How are you coping with keeping your powder dry?
Yeah, it's been far from ideal, really. I had such a pretty successful season last year, and I just wanted to carry that momentum into the off-season. We had plans to increase and improve my training, my fitness, plenty of riding lined up, and it's just hampered my progress, really. So I don't see it as such a negative, though, because it's allowed me to work on other areas of weakness in my body with my shoulders and stuff, which in previous years have been a bit of a struggle for me. So it's not all been bad, and I've still taken good steps forward with my training. So.
And it sounds like, you know, spinning a positive out of a negative, which leads me to my next question, which is, you know, you were so close to winning in 2020. You won more races than anybody else. How are you building the mental strength to turn a bit of a negative into a positive for the season ahead?
The motivation has come from purely not winning the championship last year. That's all I need, really. I was so close. I've sat down and as a team and the guys I train with and everything, and we're not that far off. It's just refining a few little things. I've never been in this position before, so it was all fairly new territory, but we don't need to change that much. It's just refining what we're already doing, working on that consistency and not having any bad rounds. And that was really all that let me down, was having one bad round last year.
Yeah. Well, Tom, I'm a massive fan of the Superstock class. I wish you best of luck.
Thank you very much.
I'll be cheering you on from the garage for the season.
Yep, cheers.
Joining us now in his second season with Honda Racing UK is BSB race winner and podium regular, Mr. Glenn Irwin. How are you, mate?
How you doing, mate? All good, yourself?
Yeah, good.
Good to see you.
Glenn, you said at the end of the 2020 season that you got your mojo back. I think a win and a couple of trips to the podium helped with that. Has the limited testing time you've had this year helped you pick up where you left off?
I haven't really thought of that, too much. I think last year, as you say, we did get our mojo back, after a sort of a more difficult 19, back to kind of the whereabouts of 18, but perhaps a stronger character, more refined. The limited testing this year, there still is a raft of testing to come. Weather still doesn't look great, obviously, for the next one at Oulton Park, so it's really hard to answer that. I expect everyone to improve. I understand that we need to improve, and I understand that we isn't just a bike, I have to improve as well. So that's what I want to do, and I think when you're aware of them things and you want to do it, that should happen, hopefully.
And do you feel like a sense of responsibility to develop Fireblade for Honda?
Yeah, I think I do. Just in the respect of the boys are coming from such a, as in Rio and Takumi, such a different background, tyres, you know, way of life, so much that little things you don't think of that that will impact, you know, on track performance for a while. So whilst they're finding their feet, you know, I'm happy to be in the position where I think I can make calls that sometimes are big calls, with major components to go this way or that way. And yeah, I feel I always feel confident in my own abilities to do that. But at the same time, the boys, whilst they're learning the tracks, they still have a huge input. And so far we have agreed on pros of the bike and saying similar things when we try similar changes. So they're not far away. Like, I'm saying this as if they're dawdling about. You know, I think at Silverstone they were both less than a second off the fastest lap time, and no doubt they'll be right at the forefront of development soon as well.
I mean, they come into this with, they both have Suzuka 8-hour experience. Takumi's had a win there, HRC wildcard rides in MotoGP, Japanese national championships. They're bringing a lot to the table, but in their first year of BSB, are you feeling any sense of responsibility to them as guys to help them understand everything that's going on, not just the bike?
I think it comes down to the individual character, as in there's two characters. There's the character of the type of people who don't care, you know, which that, you know, there will be. You know, my job is I race for Honda Racing UK, so I race for a team. My individual goal is to win races, is to win championships. You know, that's my goal. I wouldn't be a rider if I didn't think like that. But I race for Honda, and you have a duty. You know, you have a duty to conduct yourself correctly. So many other things than just me on the track. You know, I have a team of people that work on my bike, so it's not just me that wins. We win as a team, and you know, the dream one day is obviously, I'm sure, for any team that has 3 bikes, is have 3 on the podium. And you know, I know that sounds very far away at the minute, but what I'm trying to say is I fall under the character of the guy who wants to help, and that's just me. I've bonded with them really well. You know, they're both hungry, they're both fast riders. I respect them hugely, you know, for various reasons. Takumi particularly for what he's done to Suzuka, you know, and we know how John Henry is so fast, and Takumi has fought with him there. So yeah, look, I'm all for helping them get up to speed, because I'm also aware the more they get up to speed, the better it is for the team, for development, for me,
For everyone.
our sponsors, and like I say, I race for the team.
Well, Glenn, I think your way of doing things has worked for you so far. I thank you for your time, and I wish you the best of luck for this season, mate.
Thank you very much, mate. Cheers, appreciate it.
Joining us now are the 2 new recruits for Honda Racing UK's 2021 season. Not only do these guys need to contend with a new bike, new circuits and new tyres, but there's also a new language, so you'll need to bear with us. We'd like to introduce Ryo Mizuno and Takumi Takahashi. 22-year-old Ryo Mizuno joins the team as a national Japanese champion. He's also raced in Moto2 and Moto3. 31-year-old Takumi Takahashi has raced in MotoGP as a wildcard for HRC. Like Ryo, he's a former national Japanese champion. He's also raced in World Superbike for Honda. Takumi, what means more to you, your win at Suzuka, your MotoGP race for HRC, or your time in World Superbike?
Of course, World Superbike MotoGP is very good experience, but now most important race is Suzuka 8 hours for me and team Chelsea and Honda. Yeah.
And looking to this season, how has testing been so far? How was Silverstone?
Silverstone is not so difficult to learn the track, but I need more time.
And Ryo, how was Silverstone for you?
So look similar to Japanese circuit.
Yep.
Yeah,
Quite easy?
easy. Yeah.
And what about, you know, Josh Brooks, Taron McKenzie, Glenn Irwin? What about the riders? How do they compare for you?
Two difference to Japanese championship rider
They're different. In what way?
because all rider too crazy.
They're crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so BSB riders are crazy. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your time, guys, and ganbatte.
Thank you.
We've come to the end of the team launch. You've met the riders, you've seen the new livery. We hope you enjoyed the show, and thanks for joining us.